The second aspect is the third-party liability cover. This covers you for any damage that you're likely to do to somebody else's property. It could be another boat, it could be, God forbid, somebody swimming in the water, for example, but it's any damage that you're likely to do to a third-party property.
What are the considerations then in making sure I get the right level of cover?
Probably three main areas of consideration are the value that the boat needs to be insured for, the actual value that you place on the boat, and in the event of a total loss, what the cost will be to replace the boat. What you're using the boat for, is it just going to be cruising, are you racing the boat, and probably where you're going to be using the boat. Is it just going to be within the UK, or are you going to take it across to France, or are you going to take it down to the Mediterranean? So it's those kind of considerations that need to be taken into account when actually considering insurance.
And how do I work out the market value?
Unlike car insurance, where there are specific publications which will give you a value of a particular car, with yachts it's different because boats get used different, they get in different conditions, and therefore the values will vary accordingly. The best resource is any of the online marine websites where you can go online, search for your type of craft, look for the value of those corresponding boats, and use that as an indication as far as the value of your boat is concerned.
What if I use my yacht for racing? Can an insurance policy cover that?
Yes, most good insurance policies will cover the yacht for racing. It will vary for the type of races that you do, be it club racing or long distance offshore racing, but the policy will accommodate that, the use of that particular boat. The policy is based around the value of the mast and the spars and the sails, so it's important when you're considering the use for racing that you obtain a value for those items on the boat.
Would you recommend getting insurance all year round? Surely you wouldn't need it if the boat was laid up for the winter.
Yes, would recommend a policy for all year round. For the winter use, boats tend to come out the water and are laid up ashore. And it's there, especially during the winter months, that more damage could be incurred to the boat, especially if not necessarily damage to the boat, but it could be caused by other boats that hit it or get blown over. So it is important that there is a 12-month policy in place.
So what kind of discounts can a person get on an insurance policy?
One of the biggest discounts that you can get on an insurance policy is probably the no claims discount. Works similar to a car insurance policy, but the longer that you insure the boat on a continuous basis and the longer you go without making any claims, that will build up an amount of no claims discount. That's probably the largest discount that could be earned against the policy.
Are there any other ways of reducing the cost of the insurance policy?
Yes, another way would be to consider some of the RYA training courses. Discounts are normally applied if those courses have been completed, and they are recognised within the yachting fraternity. So yes, a completion of an RYA course would also attract additional discounts.
Why would you need liability on a policy?
The liability cover on a policy is just as important. It covers you for any damage that you're likely to sustain to somebody else's property. That could be another boat, it could be somebody being injured. So it's just as important that you have the liability cover in place. Boats are used in close proximity in marinas, coming off of moorings, and it's there that there's likely to be damage to other property, and that's the important part of the liability policy, to cover those incidents.
So is anyone on my yacht covered by the policy?
This can vary according to different insurance policies, but in general, anybody can use the yacht, providing they're deemed competent by the owner of the boat, and obviously he has the owner's permission from there to use it.
So do I need to sort of name any people in particular?
Not normally, but it is worth checking the policy wordings and ultimately checking with the insurer to make sure if the person going to use the boat does need to be named.
If I sail my yacht abroad, is it still covered?
Yes, the boat will be covered whilst it is abroad. It's important that you tell the insurer where you're taking the boat to, because different parts of Europe will attract different loadings as far as the premium is concerned. So for example, if it's going to France, it will attract some loadings. If it goes to the Mediterranean, it will attract further loadings. So yes, it will be covered abroad. You just need to make sure that the insurer is informed of its location.
So do all insurance providers offer the same level of cover?
Basically the policies are the same, but it's the benefits that under each individual policies that will vary, and it's important that you look at the benefits and the terms and the conditions set by individuals insurers to make sure that they are applicable to what you're using the yacht for. Certain policies will only restrict the boat to certain parts of the UK. Other insurers will cover you further afield. So it's the conditions that are set under individual policies that need to be taken into consideration.
So if I did have to make a